Pittsburgh Steelers fans, thank you once again. Thanks so much for joining myself, the Triple OG Shannon, and the little fella sitting on the bench, Big G, for joining us for another Wednesday night episode of the Pump Your Brakes podcast on the Steel Curtain Network. I'm your boy Tate in the building. As I've already said, we're here with the Triple OG Shannon White. Shannon, what's happening? Go ahead and get your fine sign out, Big G.
Yep, find me. I had the mute on. I'm excited about the show and to share a little knowledge and a little honesty.
Knowledge and honesty. Okay. Big G, what's up with you, man?
Listen, man. I got my bench sign out right now, man. We got to have a real conversation tonight, man. I'm trying to be composed and hold it in, but I can just feel it boiling in my stomach right now, moving up to my brain. We got to have a real conversation. And there's going to be some stuff said, to be honest, is going to maybe piss a few people off. But we got to let it tell the truth, because from the truth, we can get anywhere. So we got to start telling some truths about what's going on with the Steelers tonight on the show, bro, tonight.
Okay, well, I really don't have anything in particular, or we don't have anything in particular just set in stone to go, line by line and talk about. But what I thought was, Tomlin saying volunteers, not hostages, right?
Mm-hmm.
George Pickens is volatile, man. Who knows what's he mean? I know it was big about a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Shannon was giving him props for how he's conducting himself. And I was like, yeah, he's had to grow up a little bit. Well, now he's regressed, obviously. So that's the volatility portion.
Mm-hmm.
Davante Adams, if we can make a trade for him, we probably should, because we need some explosiveness in our offense. And does Russ ultimately end up coming in for Justin Fields? I got Russ labeled as consistency. I think Russ's floor is high. I think Justin's ceiling is high. So what do the Pittsburgh Steelers need, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about, a lot of the injuries. Herbig, Jalen Warren did practice today. Russ was a full participant. Jalen Warren was limited. Herbig is out. Who's the other edge? Alex
Smith
is out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we dealing with some injuries, man. We're dealing with some stuff. So I don't know, but I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. If you're watching on YouTube, we're not going anywhere, but we can go ahead and get this commercial break out the way so we can come back and get into it and only have to stop one more time for a break. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're not going anywhere. Big G sign, get the algorithm up. And what that means in simple translation, hit the like button one time for Big G out in the streets. You know what I mean? It don't do no good to have Big G out in the streets and y'all not hitting the like button. Go ahead and hit that.
Hey, Tate?
Yes, sir.
I got to drop out for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. We'll be here. So, yeah, Big G. So, we're going to go jump the break real quick. We're going to come back and get into it. I'm going to let you, whatever you got to get off your chest. Sound like you got some real hard, cold truths you want to get off your chest, man.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So, we're going to go ahead. If you listen on audio, we have to hear a few words from our partners, but be it Amazon, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcasts. We in the building on Fans First Sports Network, the Steel Curtain Network. Listen to these few words from our partner, and we'll be right back and get into everything all Steelers. And we're back on the PYB Pump Your Brakes podcast. Again, the homie Tate along with the homie Big-G. That's not for anybody, Big-G. That's just for the sound effect because we pump your brakes. So
there's somebody there. Look at what Claude said already. Look at what he said already.
Oh, he put a super chat. Thanks for a super chat, Claude. I haven't even looked at it yet like Big G has. It must be some Matrix word that he said, look at what Claude said already.
Already. He's starting stuff.
Big G, I love how you started the show. Finally, I'm definitely looking forward to this show.
Claude, he looked forward to every show. Don't start, Claude. Don't start because you don't know which way I'm going. And tonight ain't the night, Claude. Tonight ain't the night.
I don't think Claude care which way you go.
That is facts.
He got some kind of rebuttal or retort to whatever you say.
I believe that. But he might not like it tonight, man. Because he might get a lifetime ban or pass to the Matrix after the night, depending on what goes down with this conversation.
Let's shout out the folks in the live chat, man. We got our homie Booby, Daniel Reed, Mean Green. What up, Mean Green? Jar Devil, Jay Reed, George T. Of course, the Matrix Master, the homie Claude, Val Ford, AJC, John.
Valley Ford is there.
I said Valley Ford. Luke Cage, the Quad Father in the building.
I seen Afton too.
Another super chat from, is that Steelers Lee?
Yeah, Steelers Lee.
Steelers Lee said this might be uncomfortable, but when do we question the Steelers and their ability to draft wide receivers with great character along with the talent?
That might be part of the conversation. It just depends. It just depends.
Well, let me say what I think. I mean, not too many people, wide receivers come in like Larry Fitzgerald, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at every wide receiver. They want their money. They're me guys for the most part. I'm trying to think who right now, who probably is the best receiver that's the best on the field and probably in the locker room. Who would you say that would be right now?
In the league?
In the league.
Shoot, none of them. None of them. They all prima donnas. They all self-serving. They all about getting their bread and getting their checks. And when the time come to get their money, they're going to cut up unless they get their money. I don't know. I can't name one guy in the whole league. Not one. Shannon, you can name one?
Cooper Kupp. Puka Nacua.
But they got their money. Well, Puka ain't got his money, but Cooper Kupp got his bread.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, but you've had Fitzgerald. There's big guys. Not every one of them has to be a diva just because they're talented.
Yeah, I can agree with those two. They're definitely anomalies, and to be one of the best, he had one of the best seasons last year. But Puka Nacua has to do it again.
Like somebody said, Mike Evans. I mean, come on.
Mike got his bread already. He cut up before he got his bread. He sat out games and stuff. They all got that Madonna in them. Trust me, man.
Not to the level we've been seeing.
Well, D-Hop got his bread too. Where everybody talking about D-Hop and this and that. D-Hop cut up when he went to get his bread, and he was in Tennessee. He cut up bad.
Well, when he's in the Texans.
Yeah, he cut up. He was like, I need my money. Do this, that, and this. Listen, there's a lot of most of them is prima donna.
Antonio Brown set a bad precedent.
That is correct.
And now it's gotten worse.
That is correct. And that is correct.
You got your Antonio Brown, you got your OBJ, and OBJ's never been in trouble. Just how he does on the field, right?
Yeah, he cuts up.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's been in some Diddy problems, so that might priority.
Shannon, wait a minute, Shannon.
That might be changing.
No Diddy, no doubt. Tate, hit him. Hit him before he gets started, man.
OBJ out there in the Diddy streets?
That's what Shannon said.
That's what they're saying, yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow. But listen, man. Listen, I got it. Tate, I'm gonna make this statement, man. I'm gonna make this statement.
Go ahead.
Y'all bear with me. Just give me a couple minutes. Okay. I watched the all 22 film twice. Not just once, but twice. I watched it twice. I sat with the clicker, and I had to be honest, man. I got 6 bullet points. Now, during the context of the conversation, we might talk about them, we might not. But I got 6 bullet points. And there's some hard truths, right? About players, about coaches, about what I saw. And listen, if we don't start telling the truth with this stuff, we're going to end up 9-8, 10-7 again. We got to tell the truth and got to be honest. Now, by telling the truth and being honest, we can maybe rectify and fix the problem. But unless we tell the truth about it, it's going to be some issues. We got to tell it. You know?
Well, I'm ready. Are you going to do it?
Heck yeah. Can I start with the first one?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Go for it.
Offensive play calling. I knew what the play was 80% of the time. And I was non-biased with it, even though I knew I had watched it. And the second time, I was really hard on myself about making sure I wasn't biased about the play. But based on down and distance and formation, they ran the same play almost 65% of all the snaps. Mm-hmm. I knew what the play was based on down and distance and formation. That is not a player problem. That is a coaching issue. That is a coaching issue. That has got nothing to do with the guy's execution on the field. That is to do with the play calling and the game plan that was implemented by Arthur Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. It was totally vanilla. Totally vanilla. And he did not, Tate, I remember back to this point now as we're talking about it. Remember when we did the live thing on the Know It Alls podcast? And I said, Tate, I can see right now that Hayward is a big part of the game plan. And I don't know if I like this game plan when the game first started out. After rewatching it and watching it, I was like, oh my God, I don't know why I didn't like it. Because the game plan call was horrible. It was horrible. It was like last year. It was like it was Groundhog Day. We was experiencing the same thing all over again. Mm-hmm. So I got to start with that. I'll let y'all talk about it, man, or whatever. But I'm going to tell the truth with that, bro. Mm-hmm. I don't care what nobody say. I watched it with my own eyes. Shannon, Tate, what y'all got to say about that?
But do you want to?
What did he say?
Get each point, or do you want to get your other points? It's whichever.
Let's do this one. Let's talk about this one.
Okay. The Steelers are trying to run an antiquated offensive system. We had it in Matt Canada. We had it with Fickner. And now they got it again with Arthur Smith because that's what Tomlin wants. This all comes back to what Tomlin wants. And it is zero risk, very low risk. It is very predictable still. And because you listen to Justin Fields, he says that he does not have the ability to audible. And that's the same thing Kenny Pickett said last year. And that scares the crap out of you. You have to, if you see a play is doomed to failure, you have to trust your quarterback enough to be able to change the play. Either he can do it or he can't do it. We're seeing a bunch of RPOs because that's the only option he has. Okay, this play ain't going to work, so I'm going to keep it and run it or try to do a quick pass. If that's what they're going to do, if they're going to trust Russell Wilson more, then they're going to have to switch to Russell Wilson. Somehow along the way, they have got to catch up to this century on the offensive side of the football. And part of this issue is there's other teams trying similar stuff that have a far better talent level and offensive line. The Steelers' offensive line has been decimated by injuries. They're just now getting back and can play the same line 2 weeks in a row, hopefully. So that can help things. But they're very young on the offensive line, obviously. And so it's just not a good mix right now.
Right.
But as you say, the first thing I'm noticing, if the defense could have did their job when it counted, they win that game, and we're not having this conversation about Fields and Wilson. Not to this degree.
Correct.
But we're trying to put a lot of blame on Fields, and he was a small part of the problem.
Right.
But I'm just saying that game was highly winnable. The game against the Colts was highly winnable. but they both looked like the Steelers were not prepared. After that first quarter where they give Fields a little bit of a longer leash, and he about turned it over twice, then you see them pulling him back in. And either a guy can do it or he can't. And I'm just saying that right now, the earliest and the easiest thing I see is, as you said, it is a problem with an antiquated offensive game plan.
But I'm not blaming that on Mike Tomlin, man. I'm not blaming it. And I'm going to talk a little bit in a while why I'm not blaming that on Mike Tomlin. Because this the deal. Tomlin,
head coach has to take.
Shannon, I get that. I understand. I understand that. And listen, the loss is totally on everybody. So if absolutely does Tomlin have to take, because the buck stops with Mike Tomlin.
Can I jump in and play a clip of an ex-Steeler that I agree with what they had to say?
Go ahead.
I want to talk about my disappointment with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, you look at Tolbert's catch in the first half, that's a busted coverage. And that's a busted coverage between Dante Jackson and Minkah Fitzpatrick, two veterans who have played extremely well, not only throughout their careers, but this game. And then you think about the run game of the Dallas Cowboys that has been insufficient this entire season, and you allow that to get going against you. Where's Patrick Queen stepping up and making plays? And Landon Roberts making plays. And then no matter what you think about the offensive performance of Justin Fields and the lack of a run game against the Dallas Cowboys who couldn't stop it, you have the lead 17-13 late in that game in your stadium, and you're supposed to be the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Make a stop. Find a way to get a hand on a football. Find a way to get a turnover. Find a way to get to Dak Prescott. And we saw Dak Prescott recover that fumble in the end zone, but also Deshaun Elliott. You know you have the crosser. You've called cut. That's your guy. Beat him over the top. If he reverses back out to the other side, so be it. Sometimes you lose. I feel like the Steelers lost this game more than the Dallas Cowboys won it.
That's facts.
I agree with every bit of it.
That's facts.
I agree with it in totality. That's why I clipped it and wanted to play it. I mean, and that's where I'm at with this last loss. I mean, the loss in Indianapolis, they started slow. I mean, the defense gave up 17 quick. But, who knows what happens if it's not for that miscommunication and bad snap between Fields and Zach Frazier. In this game, the offense, as ugly as it was an ugly game. We played terrible.
Yeah.
When we went down and got a touchdown with 4.5 minutes left, going up a touchdown. I mean, more than a field goal. And we let Dallas get the ball and drive down all the way down the field in the 4-minute drill, score a touchdown with 22 seconds left, and we lose. I'm more disappointed in the defense than I'm in any of the other ugliness in the game.
Let me say one thing, and I agree with you totally, Tate. Why I'm disappointed is you have a defensive-minded head coach. You have a defensive-minded organization. You have the highest-priced defense in the NFL. You have the biggest disparity between how much you pay your defense and how much you pay your offense. And you have an antiquated offensive system. That's why the defense has to win that. In those situations, somebody has to make a play. And I understand, listen, this team is decimated with injuries. I mean, Jeremiah Moon had been back 2 days at practice, and he had to play the whole second half, pretty much because Herbie got hurt. And so did Leal. Leal gets a stinger. I might have been on the same play. I can't remember. But it was right there at the same time. So that was, I understand there's injuries here. But again, why are you taking Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, and your guys in the secondary and playing that off zone or off man again and letting Dak find his rhythm? And they had 400 some yards of freaking offense.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're supposed to be a defensive-minded coach and team. That's my problem.
But Shannon, now listen, I hear you, and I don't disagree with nothing you're saying. But when you start talking about a problem in a whole, the whole problem, the whole thing, right? You just can't pin one thing. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's why I got bullet points, because they all feed and make this crazy formula of why we've lost the last 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, there's a bunch of problems.
The
I
next
agree.
problem,
Yes.
the next problem is Najee Harris.
Yep.
The production at the running back position. Najee Harris has absolutely no burst. And I question his vision because I saw where he had a cutback lane. Because, all 22 film, you're looking at it from the front and the back. So I saw where he had a cutback lane. I saw where McCormick, where Frazier, where Siamalu, where Jones, and even Dan Moore made great blocks. And he didn't go where he was supposed to go. And even if the line blocked it up correctly, he didn't go where he was supposed to go. And he's pedestrian getting 4 and 5 yard runs, where if he had the vision and he was running where he was supposed to be running, those runs would be 10 and 15 yards. And let me tell you something about the running game. A good running game helps a defense that's struggling or defense that's tired. Time of possession went to Dallas. Because we couldn't run the ball, that factored into our loss. I don't know, and this goes back to Arthur Smith. I don't know if he's calling run plays that are designed for Jaylen Warren, that are designed for Patterson, but Najee can't run. That zone sweep doesn't work for Najee Harris. Why are we running that play? They ran that play 6 times. They netted a total of 22 yards on 6 plays running the exact same play. That is an offensive play calling design.
Hey,
that is
Big G,
something wrong with Arthur Smith.
Dallas is 9 of 15 on third down.
Correct.
The Steelers were 3 of 12 or 3 of 15. Correct. I mean, that shows you right there. The defense couldn't get off the field.
Correct.
And the offense couldn't stay on the field.
Correct. And if you can't run the ball, ultimately, I watched TJ Watt at the end of that game and he was totally gassed. He was out of gas. I'll get to Watt at the end, but he was out of gas. Patrick Queen was out of gas. Mika Fitzpatrick was out of gas. Cam Hayward was out. They was out of gas.
Yep.
They didn't have nothing left in the tank. That last drive, they were running on straight empty. Well, that plays a part if you're not running the ball consistency to take time of possession away from the Cowboys. Dallas drove the ball all up and down the field. And Najee Harris, believe it or not, even though he's offense, has something to do with it because we're not getting yards that we need on weighty downs to sustain a drive. That's my bullet point number 2. Tate, you got a rebuttal?
I don't disagree with you, man. I don't think Najee is running well. I think it's more his vision and his explosiveness because at best, an optimal explosiveness for Najee is going to get you 20 yards.
Correct.
So I think he's capable of that, but I just think it's his vision. He's not seeing what's there. And then with the fact that he's not seeing it from the snap of the ball, and we always talk about him get hit in the backfield, part of that may be due to his own fault.
Yes.
That he's getting hit in the backfield because he's not seeing clearly enough to get where it needs to go to.
Yes.
So he's pitter-pattering in the backfield, and you're gonna get hit when you're doing that. So hopefully it was a limited participant today. Hopefully Jaylen Warren gets back and we can see something different for a minute. Because I'm not ready to solely put the blame on Najee, but I do agree with you. He's not getting what's there, and that can be better.
Yep. Shannon, you disagree or agree?
No, I agree.
All right.
Nothing to add.
Bullet point number 3. And like I said, these ain't in order. This is just bullet points. Bullet point number 3. The offensive line is totally inconsistent. I graded it out. And all those people that's talking about Dan Moore's going to have a better grade than blah, blah, blah. Dan Moore's grade was trash. I watched it. What you said, Tate?
I said bye-bye Phillies, but go ahead.
Yeah. Adios, muchachos, my friend. Yeah, to the bench. Go over there and enjoy the Reds on the bench.
And the Pirates.
Yeah, we over there on the bench. But Dan Moore's grade was trash. The number 1 grade, and believe it or not, the number 1 grade on that offensive line was Broderick Jones. The second grade was Zach Frazier. Everybody else was substandard. You saw plays where they blew guys up, and they did a great job with blocking. But then you saw plays where they totally missed the freaking block. Then listen, the Cowboys sent blitz packages. Blitz packages mean you send 5 or more, 65% of the snaps against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They never picked it up. So anybody that's out there blaming Justin, you've lost your mind because the kid's running for his life. They sent blitz packages 65%. They knew these guys can't pick us up, so we're going to keep blitzing. And conversely, the Steelers defense didn't blitz Dak Prescott.
I think that's the thing defense have been doing thus far this year against the Steelers offense with Justin Fields is blitzing a lot. I think that blitz rate is higher than the average blitz rate in for any other team. The Steelers have seen more blitzes than anybody else. I mean, so they have to be able to pick it up and do something with it. And I think that comes down to play calling, or like Shannon said earlier, the ability for the quarterback to check out of something and check into something else.
Tate, Shannon, put Rob Lightfoot's thing up there because I want to check Rob Lightfoot on this. Rob Lightfoot, that's PFF's grade. PFF is the most inconsistent grader concerning offensive efficiency with offensive linemen in all of football. Most people that understand and watch football don't even go off of PFF's grades because they're horrible. They're inconsistent from game to game, player to player. There's no consistency in it at all. So if you say 85%, no, he wasn't. He got beat multiple times. So don't go off of no PFF. All you people that use PFF, I'm telling you right now, it's trash. Don't use it because it'll have you believing false stuff about our team. And I'm telling you what I know. I played line. I played at a high-level line, Division I. I know how to grade alignment. I'm telling you right now, it was trash. He played horrible. I've seen it with my own eyes. We got a super chat, bro. The Quad Father. Thank you, Quad, man. We appreciate it. Dennis Pavlak, bro. Speaking of blitzes, do we ever know what a zone blitz is anymore? I'm going to get to that, Quad Father. But I just want to get you guys' rebuttal concerning the offensive line.
Well, I think as far as that goes, I think it's about continuity, and they're all young and haven't played together a lot. So I think that's a huge part of it. I think our most talented players aren't in there because of injury. I think that's a part of it. And I also think that maybe Pat Meyer wasn't the best choice at coach for the offensive line.
Agreed.
Not do anything wrong, but I'm saying I think he could have got somebody better, Munchak, or even another name I had in my head. I can't remember right now, but yeah, one of those guys.
Shannon?
Yeah, I think it's an experience factor, a youth factor, lack of, with the injuries, they had them in training camp, so they didn't get a lot of time playing together. I was begging them to put Frazier in early in camp, and they run Herbig fat rear end out there, and that was a joke. Trying to say Frazier's got to earn it, and we already see he's the best center they've had since Pouncey retired. McCormick has been an excellent fourth-round rookie starter. We would have had Fautanu in there if he hadn't got injured. Again, injuries. So the offensive line, it needs help right now. It really does. And it needs a quarterback who can have the freedom to call an audible and call out of a bad play because, as Tate said, they're blitzing the heck out of him, and sometimes he can't even check out of it. So he looks to run, and there's nowhere to run because they're staying disciplined and they're blitzing the lane.
Not only did Justin take hits,
the receivers are not adjusting their routes quickly enough for him to get it out fast.
Oh, I'm getting the receivers. Trust me.
Yeah. The offensive line will improve, but again, they need help.
Listen, Justin took some bad hits. He didn't just get hit. He took some horrible hits.
Oh, bad ones, yeah.
Off of protection from the offensive line.
Yep.
Right? Tate, remember we was in the game, and I said, man, he got cracked. That might wake him up. Remember I said that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he was getting cracked all freaking night. From the third quarter on, they punished Justin because they sent blitz. Blitz packages was over 70% in the second half. They were like, we're not scared of these dudes. We're just going to blitz them. And they're not going to pick it up. So that's all. You can have the best quarterback, the best running back, the best wide receivers in the league. If your offensive line doesn't pick up the blitzes consistently, they're going to get cooked. And that's the truth of the matter. All right. Bullet point number 4. And this is a big one. When I'm telling you this is a big one, this is a big one. The lack of production at wide receiver and Pickens' character issues. I watched all 22 film twice. I saw Pickens not geared. I saw because the game plan wasn't geared towards Pickens. I saw him walking. I saw a lackluster effort. I saw him jogging. I saw him not blocking. And the other wide receivers could not separate at all. Those guys wasn't open. So Justin's not going to force the ball and throw it into coverage. He's not going to do it, right? And especially like Shannon's been saying all on the show, if you can't audible out of it, because you can see it from a quarterback and like, wait a minute, they're in too high. We got 22 personnel on the field. Let's call seams for the tight ends to run up the seams. Versus if we're in 22 personnel and they got all outrights and a crosser, deep crosser, they're not going to get there because of the defense that they're in, or I'm going to get blitzed. Mm-hmm. But the wide receivers have to be able to separate to put Justin's in a position to throw the ball to him. Pickens was horrible. If I was Pickens, if I was the coach, the wide receiver coach, I would have benched Pickens in the first half. I would have benched him. And his snaps was way down there, and people ain't trying to talk about it. He's got character problems. The game plan wasn't geared towards him. He whined and cried like a big baby. He had that mess on his thing. Y'all might get pissed off at me. Steeler Nation might get pissed off at me, but they need to trade him right now. Trade him while his value is high because he's not going to change. Trade him now. Trade him for Davante Adams head up. I don't give a damn because he's a prima donna and he's going to act the way he acts because he feels like it's all about him. That's not the Steeler way from the wide receiver position. He's got to go. It's time to go. And Tomlin keeps making excuses for him. Or he's going, I addressed it. I talked to him. No, he's not going to change. When people keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you expect different results, you are insane. That's Pickens. He's not going to change. Get him up out of there. Get him up out of there right now because he's not going to change. And I saw it. We saw this last year, and we're seeing it again this year. Tate, Shannon, either one of y'all can go with this because I know what I saw.
Well, Tate earlier said that I had bragged on Pickens a couple weeks ago, and I did because I thought that we're seeing more maturity, more effort in his route running and his attempt blocking. But the last 2 weeks, we're seeing the opponents are getting in his head. They are trash talking him the whole game. And you just watch him lose his cool. He goes from the start of the game and then by middle of the game, he's lost it. His attitude suffers. His effort suffers. He's dropped passes in 3 straight games, including a touchdown. And the fact that you have your best receiver and he's not out there, in my face, respect me enough to lie behind my back maybe, but he just sat there and freaking lied about why he's not in there. And instead of saying, well, he's not giving an effort and he's got a bad attitude, so he ain't gonna play.
Who lied? You froze, so we didn't hear that.
Tomlin, he said that it was because he's not part of the blocking packages and all this other nonsense.
I think
you're telling me Calvin Austin is a better blocker?
I think we all know what it is.
That Pickens, I don't care if he does try. The dude is diminutive.
I think we all know what it is. I think Tomlin just doesn't disclose certain things in locker room to the media. I mean,
he hid AB and his craziness for years.
Yeah.
And he did a good job of it. But again, eventually it bit the Steelers in the rear, didn't it? And like Big G said, George Pickens, if that's what we're getting already, I don't think it's going to get no better.
Trading. Y'all might get mad at me, but I'm telling you, this kid's not going to change. He's got tremendous talent. He's probably talent-wise a top 5 talent. But he doesn't have this. He doesn't have this. No, I'm not questioning his heart. I'm questioning his head. I'm questioning his head. His head, he's got all the wrong ingredients to be a Steeler. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say trading. It might be an early call, but he's got to go. He's going to continue to be a problem more and more and more. And trade him now while you can get value. Trade him now. You could get a very good receiver for George Pickens. You could get a very good receiver, including Davante Adams.
Three separate opponents in a row have called Pickens out for being soft and being fake. And I think his value is very low right now, to be honest.
You could get Adams for him, though, because Adams don't want to be there. Trust me, you could get Davante Adams for him. You could get Amari Cooper and a player for him. Even though it's in the division, you could get it. Because teams are looking at the upside of the talent and how they can improve. You could get that trade. But he got to go. He unless I see straight up changed effort in the next 2 or 3 games and it's consistent and he's not whining and crying, and then I'm still keeping my eyes on him. It's like once you get that reprimand from HR, you got to keep your eyes on him the rest of the time you're an employee. Well, his reprimand from HR doesn't happen, so I got to keep my eyes on this guy because he's going to cut up no matter what. He's going to cut up, and I ain't feeling it. I'm not feeling it, bro. You're supposed to be the leader. You got to do better, period. All right?
Well, I think that's one of the things that the wide receiver room needs also as a leader. I wouldn't be mad. We get a lot older. I wouldn't be mad in a trade for Adams, even if you get rid of Pickens and a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. And those be the 2 receivers. I mean, I think that's potentially something that's doable. Especially if you're willing to trade Pickens, you definitely can get both of them. I think you can get Adams for 2 or 3. You probably can get Hopkins and a pick back for George Pickens, some type of pick, a 3rd or a 4th. That's just me spitballing out loud, really. But I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't either, Tate. Shannon Gray say something.
You can't. Shannon? There's nobody you could bring in. A veteran.
He broke up bad.
You could bring in Jerry Rice, and George Pickens wouldn't respect him either. It's just his nature. I don't think that there's anybody that he would listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you said you could bring in Jerry Rice and it wouldn't matter.
He wouldn't listen to him.
I'm not suggesting George Pickens listens. I'm suggesting we get 2 receivers. George Pickens is a piece that's out the door.
No, I'm not hating that idea. No.
Right.
Tate, before I move on to the next 2, man.
Well, I want
you to take a break, or you want to talk about something?
Well, I want you to answer the Quad Father's question, you and Shannon, about lack of blitzing from the defense on our end.
Well, that's I got that. That was one of my bullet points. So is that okay? We wait, or you just want me to go in on it now? We'll
go ahead and cut the break real quick. We right at the 40-minute mark. We have 20 minutes left. So if you're watching on YouTube, you know we're not going anywhere. If you're listening on audio, we have to hear a few quick words from our partners. We'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Pump Your Brakes podcast with the fellas, the triple OG Shannon White, the little fella, Mr. Algorithm, Mr. Beach, Mr. Dumpster Juice himself, Big G, and me, your boy Tate, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and some of the things they got going on this week after 2 losses in a row. Man, Baltimore Ravens as tight as in the division. It's high time the Steelers do something this week against the Raiders that we can look to and look as a positive going forward. I feel like their next 3 games are winnable. They have the Raiders this week in LA, in Vegas, I mean.
Yeah.
They're starting Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, second-year quarterback. Probably started about 7 or 8 games last year.
Yep.
Then we have the Jets are in turmoil. Coach Robert Saleh got fired. Well, it was yesterday morning, right? Yesterday morning.
Yeah. They didn't even let him talk to the team. They packed this stuff in black garbage bags and said, get out and stay out.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good move. And then we got the Giants. So 3 winnable games. If you had told me at the beginning of at the end of preseason we'd be 5-3 after 8 games, I'd take it. But I really feel like we should at least be 6-2. We can win, should be able to. These are 3 winnable games.
Facts.
So you were going to talk about the defense, G, and the lack of blitzing.
Yeah. But next bullet point. Patrick Queen against the run game and the inability of the Pittsburgh Steelers to put blitz packages on the field. Dallas running back picked up over 60 yards on the run by missed assignments by Patrick Queen and Alandon Roberts. 30 of those yards came on the game-winning drive. They missed. They totally missed, right? Dallas gashed us.
I tell you, to me, the most damning play of that last drive was that little screen pass to the fullback.
Yes. Missed assignment. That's a missed assignment. But that's even worse. Because when you're in zone, you got to identify who's the wheel. So depending on which way the zone is, because you could have the outside linebacker that's supposed to drop into coverage, or you could have the slot corner that's supposed to pick him up. On film, it's hard to identify whose problem it was, but you're absolutely correct, Tate. Now check this out. Dallas picked up 3 first downs on the game-winning drive because of missed assignments by Roberts and Queen. Yes, Robert made a huge play down on the goal line to force the fumble. Yes, he did. I give him that. But if you can't stop the run, your defensive coordinator is hesitant to call the blitz. So one hand feeds the other. Pittsburgh did not blitz against Dallas the whole time.
And also with that, in the first 3 games that they were getting home with full rushing 4.
Tate, you're absolutely correct. And you know what that's about? And I'm going to say it, and I don't care if the NFL can come find me. We have to get something done about the blatant holding to TJ Watt. It's ridiculous. I don't get. People can say I'm crying and whining. I watched the film. The dude got tackled, bro. I counted 8 holding penalties. Legitimately 8 holding penalties. The dude is getting tackled. So as an organization, as a team, yeah, we got to do something different. Maybe do something to free him up, to send him a different way, because he can get home from any way. He can get home from the outside, the inside. I don't care which way you send him, he can get home. But if you're just going to stand him there and the NFL officiating is going to allow him to be held, what the hell are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Right? So you got to figure out how to do this, because we're not going to get home with 4 against good teams. You got to make the opposing team's quarterback very uncomfortable. We don't do that. And I don't understand it. So I got an issue with the defensive coordinator, and we just can't keep whining and crying about Watt getting held. We got to do something different. Shannon, Tate, I'm backing up again. What y'all got to say?
Well, I agree that he's getting held like crazy. Herbie going out, they were meeting at the quarterback a lot throughout the game. Even when they wasn't getting there, they was pressuring him and forcing the ball out. When he got hurt, the pass rush went away. And we've noticed the last 2 games, what changed, guys? Go watch the first 3 games, and where's the cornerbacks lining up? Now, Jackson stays off always because he's not that kind of man guy. He don't like to be up pressed. But JPJ's pressed. And you're asking him to play zone, and he's not good at it. And they're playing passive in the secondary, and they're giving up a lot of plays. And, yeah, they made a couple of turnovers. Interceptions, that's great. But, again, I do not like the passive aggressiveness of the defense and how they're playing on the backside. Because a lot of times, just like on that screen to the fullback, White hit him right.
Say we got a super chat too.
I mean, got through a double team and hit him. But they got to be holding. I mean, you got to at least offer some resistance that you're not giving a wide open check down to a guy who's going to get a first down.
Yeah, correct. And I'm telling y'all, people remember the splash plays, but I'm telling y'all, they gashed us because they had no fear of us sending the blitz package. They gashed us.
Two things. Salute both ways, like Big G style, to the chat general after for the $5 super chat.
No daddy, no doubt.
She's saying the Steelers need a morale boost.
Facts.
I would agree. I think this is where you need to see Terrell Austin and probably Mike Tomlin draw some things up. I think Landon Roberts, Patrick Queen, and Peyton Wilson all have blitz capability from the middle. I think they need to do some A-gap blitzes with those guys.
Facts.
I think maybe they need to, drop Beanie Bishop. He's not drop him in coverage, but send him on the blitz from the slot. I think he's good at that. Probably
he's more effective.
Probably better than he is at coverage. Go ahead and right now, while he's struggling in coverage, and establish a true Mike Hilton role for him, right?
Facts.
Mike Hilton wasn't the best at coverage. He did it when he had to go out there and follow somebody, but really he was there to stop the run and be an extra blitzer so you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So I think it's imperative for Austin and Tomlin to draw some things up like that while we're down two prolific edge rushers in Highsmith and Herbig, because we know what they're going to be doing to TJ. So we need more from the middle guys, the inside linebackers. We need more from that nickel position in the pass rush game, and Ogunjobi and Keanu Ben have to step up too.
Facts. Shannon?
No, like I said, I just think I don't like the defensive play calling. I don't like the passive aggressive. Tate mentioned that Landon Roberts is an excellent blitzer. He's the one that knocked Herbig out against the Chargers. They're not going to get there with four right now because their best four pass rushers are not all in there. So they're going to have to, like you said, get creative and do something different.
And listen, once again, I might be on a tangent. Maybe I'm going to piss somebody off. But listen, Devin White got cut. Go get him. Unless he's just done, go get him.
I saw that in the chat, but why? What purpose does that serve?
Because you put the dot on him and take the dot off of Queen and let Queen do what Queen does. Peyton Wilson's not ready to take the dot. Holcomb will be back off in a few weeks, but he's not ready to take the dot. White, unless he's totally hurt, give him the dot.
I don't think he's hurt. I read that Nakobe Dean just took his position.
Nakobe Dean's a dog.
Yeah, I agree.
He was a dog at Georgia.
Well, I heard today that there's a chance Holcomb don't play this year.
Well, then go get White. Go get him. Why mess around with this?
If Holcomb's not coming back, I can see taking a flyer on him. You don't stand nothing to lose. He get in for a week or two, learn the defense, and be ready to go after the bye. I mean, that could be something. And go ahead, Shannon.
Like I said last week, my concern with Queen is I keep waiting to fall in love with him, and it ain't happening. And one of the things that concern me is I said last week, this is totally different schemes. The Ravens run a totally different scheme. They have them huge monster guys in the middle that tie up those interior linemen.
Yes.
And Queen was just running to the ball. Now he's getting met with blockers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not handle it well.
The nose tackle position is a problem, Shannon. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've like I said, I don't want Benton at nose tackle. And it just, when you look at the Ravens D line and you look at ours, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And it's hurting Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't I've seen enough now, large enough sample size that I have to agree with that. He's being washed up in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting clear of it. So that inhibits his ability to make plays.
Yeah.
We
got another super chat, Tate. Corey Brown.
Homie CB, Corey Brown. What's good, Corey Brown? Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. You in the room with Big G. The All 22 showed a lot of misassignments by Broderick Jones and DBs.
That's big facts, but not as much as it was for the Dan Moore. The Dan Moore and the Siumalu. Not as much. The left side was getting cooked.
No,
Go ahead, Shannon.
I don't agree with the Broderick Jones as far as the pass blocking. Broderick Jones had a solid game pass blocking. Where he struggled earlier in the year, I thought he did much better. The problem is he's getting out wide on them outside zone runs. And Jones is out there leading the way. Well, guess what? Harris is too far back because he's not fast enough to keep up. So Jones thinks he's right behind him, right on his hip, so he will let blocks pass. Instead of taking out a little cornerback, he's looking for a linebacker, right? Well, or a safety. Well, the problem is Harris is getting tackled by the cornerback because he's too far back. He does not know how to follow his lead blocks.
That's facts. That's facts, Shannon.
And I think Broderick Jones is evident his arm is getting healthier and stronger.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Because he's doing a much better job definitely in the pass block game. And I think will this be the first time all season we have the same group starting back-to-back games in offensive line?
Yes. First game. First time. Yes.
Okay, so I think I like the potential of what that can mean. So we got Dan Moore. Then we got who's next to Dan Moore?
Siumalu.
Yes. Siumalu,
yeah.
Then Frazier, then McCormick, and then Jones.
Yes.
I think those are talented players on the line.
Yeah, I think you stay healthy.
They stay healthy and get some continuity. This could be the beginning of something. Let's talk about the Raider game real quick.
Yep.
We got about 6 or 7 minutes. So we go to Vegas, 4:05 kickoff. We know they're 2-3, right?
Facts.
Antonio Pierce, second-year coach. He was intern last year, went 5-4 the last 9 games last year. Team wanted him back, but it seems like it's a whole bunch of turmoil going on in Vegas right now, more than what's going on in Pittsburgh. You got Davante Adams wanting out. You got them switching quarterbacks right now. Max Crosby had been hurt. I believe he may have played last week for the first time in a game or two.
Wilkins got put on IR today too. They D-tackle.
Christian Wilkins?
Yeah, he's done. He's done for the season.
That would make us think it should open up some run game possibilities, but I won't count on that.
Nope.
Not count on it. But so what do you guys think about the Raiders? What do you think about this matchup?
Hey, put that super chat up with Booby, and then I'll tell you, bro. I appreciate you. Hey, I'm only gonna salute Booby one way. Tate, I can't do both ways. There's one way to Booby. Booby, man,
Big G the one started going both ways, so we're gonna go ahead and get it.
No Diddy, no doubt. No.
And we just have to say no Diddy.
Yeah,
but
no
man,
Diddy, no doubt.
Booby deserves both ways.
I'm not see that, no doubt. Come on, Tate. But so Booby, I appreciate you, man. But listen, to answer your question, we should beat the brake shoes off of them.
We probably should beat the brake shoes off the Colts too.
Yeah, we should literally beat the brake shoes off of them.
Respect because they was a 12-win team last 3 seasons coming into this week. And I didn't think they were going to be an easy out. But we probably should beat the brake shoes off the Colts.
We should. But I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know. If I got to see if Jaylen Warren, God, please let him play. And activate Roman Wilson. Stop playing. Get them scrubs off the field. Activate Roman Wilson. He's ready to go. He's having full practices, and he's ready to go. Roman Wilson should be playing. Please let Jaylen Warren be able to play. And then we'll go from there. And if you're going to run 22 personnel, run the freaking tight end up the seam. Arthur Smith, what are you doing? You got to soften up the defense. Run the tight ends up the seam. Listen, Allen came in one play. Where did he throw the ball to?
Up the seam.
Up the seam to move.
Yep.
Up the seam. And guess what? He was throwing that ball regardless of what Arthur Smith was going to say or not. He was going to throw it. Because he's standing on the sideline. He's seeing it with his own eyes. He's like, they ain't even protecting the middle of the field. So I'm going right up the freaking seam. And Arthur Smith over there talking to Justin. Yeah, do this and that. Get up out of here, bro. Go up the seam. Go up the seam. And you can win. And blitz the heck out of O'Donnell. I saw him playing at Purdue. He's a scrub. He'll fumble. He'll throw picks. Beat him up. Hit him 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times. He's going to be ready to quit by the end of the game. I know. I saw him play at Purdue. Ohio State beat the brake shoes off that boy every time we played him because he was ready to quit by the 3rd quarter because he kept getting hit. He's going to do the same thing. Hit the quarterback, run it, go up the seam, and if Warren can play and get Roman Wilson in the game, and if Pickens cuts up, take his helmet and his shoulder pads from him. That's how we're going to win.
Shannon, your thoughts on the game, man?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Big G's saying. Used to, I'd say they're playing O'Connell, the backup. They're playing a Raiders team that are decimated with injuries too, especially on their defensive line. But it don't seem to matter. In the past, like last 2 years, you could play a bad defense, but they looked good against the Steelers, didn't they? Last week, the Cowboys have the second worst defense in the NFL. They look good against Pittsburgh because the Steelers don't identify weaknesses and attack weaknesses. They have their game plan, and they go into the game. It don't matter who they're playing. It don't matter if it's going to work or not. They can't adjust. They cannot, for the life of them, exploit other teams' weaknesses like teams do to us. The Steelers have tons of injuries, and every team knows it, and they attack it. So, I have no clue what to expect out of this team right now. I think that I feel like Pierce has a better option to have his guys fired up than Tomlin because the last 2 weeks I haven't seen it. It's in Vegas, and I think that they're going to play that passive defense again and let O'Connell get confident, and then he'll be a pain in the rear the whole game.
Tate, super chat Claude Bishop, bro. 10 binkers. $10, man.
Shout out to the homie Claude for the super chat, man. Claude, we always appreciate you, man, every week, no matter what show or what platform we're on. Mm-hmm. This is Claude's problems, I guess. Number 1 problem is Rooney extended Tomlin too early. Number 2, Omar not getting a true number 2. And Big G, no criticism of Justin Fields, though accuracy issues, and tell me that Arthur Smith isn't Matt Canada. I think it's too early for that. Matt Canada had 2 years as OC and 1 year as quarterback coach that was helping with the offensive game plan.
I'm calling bias on Claude, Tate. I don't care. I'm calling bias.
Why is it bias?
It's bias because he hates Justin Fields because Justin lit Penn State up like a Christmas tree. We all know the truth about that, Claude. Leave him alone. It ain't Justin's issue. We got another super chat by the Quad Father too, Tate, for the 5 binkers, bro.
I mean, I think there's some culpability on Tomlin too right now, how this is going.
That's big facts.
Because he needs to be able to allow the offense to be opened up a little bit.
That's big facts. And that was my last point. At the end of the day, this all comes back to Tomlin. Now, listen, and I'm going to make this statement, and I don't care who don't like it. We're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. So all you guys that's out there thinking we're going to fire him, you done lost your damn mind. We're not going to fire him. They're not going to fire him. You can quit it. They're not going to fire him.
He's not going to get fired, but like any other coach, I do right now think he deserves some culpability in what's going on because
Absolutely.
I think he has the reign. Like with Dennis's comment, having had the offensive coordinator played to win the game on offense is Todd Haley. Well, Todd Haley had prime Big Ben, a Hall of Famer, multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. Tomlin, this last 5 years, has been trying to protect the quarterback, therefore protect not turning the ball over and you can't really win like that, man. You have to get out your own way and don't be afraid of your own shadow, Mike Tomlin. We don't live in our fears. You know, you one of my favorite people as a coach, one of my favorite, just the way you lead men and motivate. I'm not against you. But this is something, coach, you need to maybe do. You need to allow Arthur Smith to open it up, cut Justin Fields loose. I've been waiting on Justin Fields, man. You know how many breakaway runs he had in Chicago where he just some breakdown, get out the pocket and go for 40 or 50 yards? I've been waiting to see that. Not happened one time yet. I don't understand why.
Because they in his head. They in his head.
Because they're not running deep routes. If you run deep crossers and you pull the defense in the secondary and downfield, then once he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's got a lot of running room. But right now, everything's close. The routes are short. I mean, there's nowhere for him to run.
That's facts. That's total facts. And Tomlin does have to have some, but they ain't going to fire him. So we got to figure out how to fix it. Whether Steeler Nation like it or not. All them fire Tomlin, get up out of here. That ain't going to happen.
Hey, look at that. Look at that comment.
And we got another super chat too.
But they didn't even activate Roman Wilson, and they called up Brandon Johnson, who played a lot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And left Roman Wilson standing on the sidelines.
Exactly.
Something is going on.
Yeah. That we can't see.
Yeah.
But because he's fully practicing. So we got Israel LG too. We got a $10 super chat, bro. He said, I believe that the coaches are responsible. The players are too, but the coaches are not putting the players in the best position to succeed. Period. Also, Justin can win. He needs help. That is 100% big facts. 100%.
I agree with that. I believe Arthur Smith could call a better game if Tomlin allowed him to. That's where it comes back on the Tomlin with me.
Yep.
And even on the defensive part of it. I mean, he has to be the one calling these safe passive coverages and zones and stuff. I mean, Terrell Austin's not just going to do that, and Tomlin had no Tate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think you want to play zone on Dante Jackson's side, you do that. You play press man on Joey Porter's side. Let him take that side out the game, that side of the field by itself, and that gives you 10 men to deal with everybody else.
We got 2 more super chats, and we got to get up out of here. We got a 199er from the last King of Scotland. You know he's going to try to hit the big troll before he get up out of here.
Shout out the last King of Scotland.
He said last Sunday's was it for Fields. It's Russ time. I promise you. Listen to the national media. Listen to people that really know. If you think Justin looks bad, you throw Russie in there, we don't got no wins. Because the offensive line will get him killed.
The thing is, I think you could be right, but also think that Russ can read better right now and will make quicker decisions. But Russ also likes to tuck and run too, so I don't know.
Facts.
I do believe, and I'm pretty certain Justin Fields is starting this week anyway.
He is. So, last King of Scotland, get up out of here with the troll. Corey Brown for the $4.99. Let Justin cook. Whenever I'm upset at the team, I'm reminded of a real dysfunctional Hello Jets. Put heat in. Yeah, that's big facts. Put heat in at the quarterback. Absolutely. We're not dysfunctional. Y'all realize, Steeler Nation, we lost 2 games by a total of 6 points. We just got to have a real conversation and make some adjustments and fix this thing. And the only way we're going to do that is we got to tell the truth.
Yep.
And that's what we was trying to do tonight.
And the thing is, Justin, no, the thing is, I was going to say, the Jets fired Robert Saleh.
Cooked.
He's still out of work.
Cooked.
If the Steelers had fired Mike Tomlin yesterday, he'd have a job today.
Today, right now. Another coach would have got fired and he would have got hired today.
Right. So I think that's what we got to keep in mind. It's hard to win in the NFL and keep up a program consistently. We need to win more. That was a mandate laid down during the early part of the offseason by Arthur Rooney II. So we need to win, but I think we have the coach and the organization and the structure to do so. It's just some X's and O's things that need to be tightened up and need to be changed. So real quick, gentlemen, Shannon, I know you don't know what to say or what to do, but give me a score prediction for Steelers Raiders.
Oh boy. I think the defense will, even with O'Connell in there, I think they're going to give up some points with all the injuries and the confusion and communication on the defense. And I think Crosby's going to give the offensive line fits. I think the Steelers pull it out, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. I'm going to say 17-13 Steelers.
I got Steelers winning 24-17, Tate. 24-17.
I got Justin Fields being responsible for 3 touchdowns.
Whoa.
So, and Boz going to hit 2 field goals, 27. And I think the Raiders get 14. I think we just have to play a clean game. That's what we're looking for, a clean game. Not the penalties, not the missed assignments, not the miscommunication on defense. A clean game, and we come out that stadium with a comfortable victory. So, like I said, I got 27-14. Steelers take it. I think Justin Fields plays well enough to go into the next Sunday night game with the Jets. And if Russ is going to get this position, I think it'll be after the bye.
Facts.
So, fellas, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. You guys got anything to finish up with before we do?
Nope. Thank you guys for rocking with us, everybody in the live chat. We appreciate you guys this week. Swing back and check me and Tate Boy Fresh out on Fridays on the Homies and Homies Overtime. Swing over and watch the Know It Alls podcast on Sunday because I really can't deal with mine right now because he's bloviating and talking so much mess about the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Longhorns. It's ridiculous. Don't forget to check Shannon out on Monday with the what's the Hangover podcast with more Daniel Jeremiah, and make sure you support all Steel Curtain Network shows on the channel on Steel Curtain Network and Fans First Sports Network. Who's getting a no Diddy?
Who said swing back?
Nah.
Hey, it's the homie Daniel J, man. Daniel Jeremiah is on the NFL Network.
It's the same guy.
He wishes, especially the pocketbook.
It's the same guy.
Anything from you, man?
Nope. He already plugged us for the Hangover, and I appreciate it. And hopefully next week we'll have a lot more positive show. But I do think tonight was important.
Yeah. Got to tell the truth, Shannon.
About everything.
Got to tell the truth. Got to be honest.
Okay, fellas, with that being said, we about to get on out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for all the super chats, man. We really appreciate the support for the Steel Curtain Network and Shannon Big-G and myself. And until next week for the Pump Your Brakes podcast, we out. Shannon, take us home, man.